Picture a misty valley at dawn. The wind carries the scent of pine and earth. A small group of humans, covered in furs, stirs around a fire. Their eyes are wary yet curious, scanning the horizon. These are the last Neanderthals, our closest extinct cousins, navigating a world that is changing faster than they can adapt. What happened to them? How did a species that survived hundreds of thousands of years vanish almost entirely? Tonight, we uncover the mystery. Neanderthals thrived in a world dominated by ice. Europe, the Middle East, and Western Asia were cold, dry, and challenging. Their stocky bodies conserved heat, and their brains, comparable in size to ours, allowed them to innovate. But climate shifts like the Heinrich events, massive glacial collapses that cooled Europe, suddenly created a volatile environment. Forests receded, herds migrated, and familiar food sources vanished. Sites like La Ferracie in France, dated around 50,000 years ago, show evidence of fluctuating occupation, suggesting Neanderthals had to move constantly to survive. Their homes were caves, rock shelters, and temporary encampments, ever at the mercy of ice and fire. Neanderthals were sophisticated tool users. The Mousterian toolkit included scrapers, points, and hand axes, crafted using the levallois technique, which allowed them to shape stone with foresight. At sites like Shanada Cave in Iraq, archaeologists discovered tools alongside butchered animal remains, showing how Neanderthals coordinated hunting mammoths, wild goats, and reindeer. In addition, evidence from Kibara Cave in Israel demonstrates that Neanderthals controlled fire, built structures with large stones, and even transported medicinal plants. This shows a level of planning and ecological knowledge we often underestimate. Around 45,000 years ago, Homo sapiens entered Europe from Africa. They were more adaptable, often moving in larger, interconnected groups and using a wider variety of tools, including blades, bone points, and decorative items. Competition for resources intensified. Archaeological layers at sites like Grotte du Renne in France show that Neanderthals and early modern humans may have shared territories. DNA evidence, however, suggests more than conflict. They interbred. Modern humans of Eurasian descent carry 1-2 Neanderthal DNA, meaning the story of disappearance is also a story of integration. In the Altai Mountains, a hybrid individual confirms that Neanderthals and Denisovans, another archaic human species, were not isolated but genetically interacting. Interbreeding may have saved some Neanderthal traits but diluted the population genetically. Instead of vanishing in a single catastrophic event, Neanderthals slowly blended into the Homo sapiens gene pool. New research from Vindija Cave in Croatia shows that Neanderthal DNA in humans contributed to immunity, skin adaptation, and even fat metabolism, gifts that helped early Homo sapiens survive in colder climates. Disease likely played an underestimated role. As Homo sapiens migrated, they introduced new pathogens. Neanderthals, isolated for tens of thousands of years, had no immunity. Recent studies suggest that infectious disease could have dramatically reduced populations, making recovery increasingly unlikely. Neanderthals were more than survivors, they were caregivers, artisans, and perhaps even storytellers. At Shanada Cave, pollen discovered in burial sites suggests flowers were placed intentionally, hinting at ritual and symbolic behavior. Evidence from La Chapelle aux Saints shows healed injuries, indicating care for the elderly or injured. Imagine a fireside scene. A small group tending the sick, crafting tools, teaching children to hunt, moments of empathy and culture that mirror our own. Neanderthals also exhibited creative behaviors. At Bruniquel Cave in France, 176,000-year-old stalagmite circles indicate spatial awareness and cooperation. These constructions predate Homo sapiens' similar behavior by tens of thousands of years. And new DNA studies from the Middle East reveal gene flow between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens occurred multiple times, showing a pattern of interaction, not simple replacement. So why did the last Neanderthals vanish? It wasn't a single cause, but a perfect storm. Climate volatility, competition with Homo sapiens, disease, and slow genetic absorption. Yet they did not disappear entirely, they live on in us. Every immune system shaped by Neanderthal DNA, every adaptive trait inherited, is a whisper from the past. As the fire crackles and the shadows dance across the cave walls, remember the last Neanderthals, not just our relatives, but our ancestors in spirit, a testament to resilience, ingenuity, and the enduring story of humanity.